Hi, this is Anu and welcome back to my knitting channel. I am so happy you joined me today for a quick little video about knitting needles 101. I thought it might be really informative, especially for the beginners among us, because I remember when I began knitting, I was really overwhelmed by all the different kind of knitting needles that were available on the market, and I had no idea what was the difference, what was better for me. So I just decided to just show you a few different kind of knitting needles and of course give you my opinion. So take it with a grain of salt. This is just what I feel about them, what I think about them. Super casual chit chat, showing you, I think I have 4 or 5 different kind of knitting needles. I will show you, explain to you why I like them or why I don't like them, and also put the price somewhere on the screen so you know what to expect when you go to make your decision and your choice about purchasing knitting needles. Without further ado, here are the first knitting needles that I ever purchased and tried. They are the cheapest one on the market and they are made out of plastic. This I think is a 7mm crochet hook, and plastic has pluses and minuses. So the plus of course is that it's really cheap, also that they are pretty light. So you know, when you knit, repetitive movement can tire your arms if the knitting needles are too heavy. So you know, everybody has their preferences. Some people really like the heaviness of it and some people really like not to feel anything in the arms. Personally, for me, it has to be in between, kind of a happy medium, not too heavy and not too light. Plus is the price, minus for me is that they're a little too light, and also because of the surface of the yarn glides really too much for me. So there is no grip at all for the yarn, and I feel like my stitches slide on the needle, which really annoys me. But that is one option, and everything that I show you, I think that it would be really nice to try one pair of knitting needle of this kind, and who knows, you might find your favorite knitting needle and not specifically the same as me. So that's the first one. The second one is aluminium, I think you call it. I know I say aluminium, my kids always laugh at me. Let me open this for you. Those are really, they are 3mm knitting needles, and they are metal, but really light metal and kind of hollow. So they're not heavy, they're extremely light. I like them a little better than the plastic one. I don't know exactly why. My stitches glide on it, but less than with plastic. I don't know if you've noticed too, but the plastic one that I showed you are actually way shorter than the aluminium one. And of course, I'm sure you can find aluminium ones that are short and plastic ones that are long. It's something that you're going to have to experience for yourself. Do you like your stitches to be all tight? Then the shorter one are good. Or do you like to have a lot of place and room in between your stitches? Then the longer one are better. And also, if you have a lot of stitches and you're doing a blanket, then I will choose circular needle for that. We will come to that. But you know, depending on the size of your work too, you might want a longer needle as opposed to shorter needle. If you do something like a little square or something that is short, or something for a baby, then shorter needle might be better. So plastic, aluminium, and then we come to my favorite ones, which are bamboo. So they are pretty light too, but they're heavier than the aluminium one and the plastic one. They're not too heavy, and they're soft, but they have some grip to it. So when I have my stitches on it, it doesn't glide and it doesn't fall off the stitch as I knit. Those are my favorite, and I kind of like this length, which is the long length as opposed to the short one. So it gives me more choice of the work I can do, the knitting work that I can do while using those needles. They are a little more expensive usually than the aluminium one and the plastic one, but for me they are worth it. It is an investment, and I buy mine on Amazon. I will put the link down below. Not sponsored, I am not affiliated, I am just showing you what I like. I bought all of this with my own money. And then my all-time favorites are circular needles. So not only are they bamboo, but they are circular needle. What does it mean is that you have 2 needles that are quite short. It's just like the point and about, I would say, 4 inches usually, and then attached one to another by a silicone kind of thread. And you can have them actually in bamboo, but you can actually have them with aluminum point and plastic point. You can find all the same material as the regular knitting needles in circular needles. The good thing about circular needle is that, you see, when you hold your needle like that, you have to kind of put it underneath your arm and kind of knit. As for knitting needle, you can really put them in front of you. You can lean your elbows on your hips, and kind of the movement is less big. It's smaller and less tiring for me. So I love that. And on top of that, they come in the little silicone or whatever band that is in between the plastic one. Well, this one is plastic, but I'll show you there are wires too. That you can buy if you would rather, because they're a little more sturdy. So those come like that, attached, and usually in a set you can have different, of course, numbers. So you have your 6 millimeters, 8 millimeters, 9 millimeters, whatever. But then the length of the little attachment, the silicone attachment, vary too. And why is it good? You know how you sometimes need to, when you want to knit in the round, you need to have those two-pointed knitting needle to create a hat or something like that. When you have a circular needle that is small enough for a hat, that's all you need. You can crochet in the round, and I love that, because those pointy circular needle, the technique to knit a hat with 4 of those is quite tricky. I will eventually teach it to you too, but this is so much easier. And depending on what you're knitting, you choose the different length of the attachment. So you have 12 inches, 16 inches, 24 inches. If you do something really big, you can have 36 inches. And personally, I really, really, really enjoy that. The bamboo and the circular one. Once I began to knit with circular needle, I don't think I ever looked back. And then the really, really cool one too is a set. I will put, of course, images for you right here so you can see. But you buy all the little pointy part of the circular needle, right? It comes in a set, so you have all the pointy parts with all your millimeters. Those are tiny, but you can get every number that you want. And then you get different sizes wire, and it's interchangeable, so it attaches to the needle. And you have one set of 6 inch, one set of 12 inch, just the wire. And depending on what number you want, you can attach the length little wire to your knitting needle. And of course, my dog is barking. I think my daughter is back from school. Yeah, so this is really, really nice, because you can have one set of knitting needles, one set of, for example, 3 or 4 wires, and then you can, depending on what you want to knit and the length of the little thread that you want to use, you can use those. So I really, really like those too. Those are beautiful. I will put the name of the brand and where to purchase it in the info box down below too. So that's it, super quick, guys. I just wanted to chat with you about the different knitting needles that are available on the market. I hope you find this helpful. If you're not subscribed to my channel, don't hesitate to do so. Click on the subscribe button, and don't hesitate to hit on the little bell right here. Click all so you can be notified every time I post something new. Here is the winner for last week's giveaway, as promised. The hat. Congratulations to you. Send me your address, and then and your email address, and then I will send you all the materials. And I will see you next time, but this time for a tutorial. It is going to be a v-neck sweater, super simple knitted v-neck sweater, understated. I love it, and we will be using a circular knitting needle. All right. See you soon. In the meantime, happy knitting. Bye. Yeah, and I buy. You attach. Let me explain to you again.